We're seeing right now, we're seeing that the sun is actually activated in a way that we've never seen before. The amount of solar flares and things that are happening. These are like cosmic waves that are coming through the portal of the sun and activating and sending higher up, like frequency upgrades to it. So we want to continue to upgrade our body through meditation, through these practice of 𝐥𝐸 and through medicine work and through the work that you're doing, the integration of coming together and holding one another and being in song and these kind of things to really integrate this new way of being, this remembrance, and also the upgrades. There's a way that's actually emerging. It's never been seen before in the cosmos. From what I'm told by my elders is that this is something new and that all of creation is watching this process that we're having here on the Earth, this beautiful blue planet that's hurtling through space, spiraling through space at 26,000 miles per second. It's a pretty magical journey we're on, and we're all here on this one planet together, supported by an infinite armada of support.
Hello, everyone. My name is Lonnie. Thank you very much for coming back to Lady Braven of the Pride, where we have courageous conversations and we talk about the Great Awakening. We talk about expanding our consciousness. We talk about elevating our vibration, and we talk about all different modalities for healing. I'm so excited today to have one of my dear friends for probably more than 20 years now, one of my dear, dear friends. His name is Skye Diamond, and he is an energy healer. He is a shaman. He is the producer of so many wonderful things. He's done a lot of training in metaphysics, and currently he is one of the producers of the Blyss Temple tribe. And today we're going to be talking about everything going on in the world, this great awakening process. Thank you so much for being here, Skye. How are you doing today?
Thank you for that beautiful introduction, Donnie. Love you so much. And yeah, doing so great. And it's really amazing to be here with you. Thanks for having me on and for initiating this conversation. And
great. I can't wait to find out everything that you've been up to. And I want to hear all about some of the programs that you're offering right now with the Blyss Temple tribe. So what is going on?
So yeah, I mean, we've been doing what we call the Awakening for several years now, where we take people through a series of initiations, deep somatic, therapeutic, psychedelic journey work, where we help people to access what we call your hive mind, or your authentic self, or your true self. All these terms that I know you speak about a lot, but really just tapping into this open channel, this we call the pillar of light, or the 𝐥𝐤, as they called it in Egypt, the 𝐥𝐤, where the Jedi come from. This pillar of light that opens up, and as we access that, we can connect to a part of ourselves that's beyond time, beyond illusion, beyond duality. We call it the inner healer, the inner guide, our true self. And when that happens, we can get out of the way and we can let the pure information flow through and have them accessing and moving forward with aligning to their true North Star, their true Dharma, their life path. And once that happens, a lot of times the healing can happen naturally, because we're actually listening now to that information that's constantly being given to us. But because we got locked into and we got stuck in these meat suits, and we thought that they were everything, we thought we were just these meat suits and nothing beyond, we stopped listening, and we got off path in a lot of ways, in society and also individually. And so it's really about lining people back up to their true self. Yeah.
Right. Oh, these are the conversations I absolutely crave. I love talking about the soul and our authenticity, and finding that channel of light and that higher self guidance. I absolutely love everything that you're doing, but I want to break it down a little bit more for people who are let's say people, I would think that they have to already be awake to start to understand some of the programs that you're doing and what you're offering right now. So they're already on the awakened side of things, as opposed to kind of asleep or programmed or indoctrinated within the matrix. So they are awakened. Now they're awakened, and they're like, the awakening process is not very easy for a lot of people. It can be very traumatic. So they're awakened, and now they're wondering what in the world is going on. And when they find you, what kind of healing modalities do you use, and what kind of programs are you offering?
Yeah, so I mean, I believe the awakening is a constant process of evolution. We use the medicine wheel, which is the way that I've been trained in the past. That's that's our in-house yeah, 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐿 the Great. Anyways, so we, I was trained down in South America with the Taitas in Colombia, and some of the shaman in my main lineage is actually the people of the Andes, the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 people, and they really
entertaining. Got a little show in the background going.
Yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, they live above 16,000 feet. They were there when the time of the Inquisition, or time when the Spanish came over. They knew that there was going to be this spiritual winter that we were going to go through, and that there would be a massive kill off of the indigenous people. There would be a genocide, unfathomable, dark winter. So what they did is because they had this prophecy, they went up and lived above 16,000 feet. And at that time, there was no helicopters or things that could get up there. So they didn't even know they existed. We didn't even know they existed until I think 1987, when they first came down from the mountain. And up there, they carried and held their ancient lineage, a lineage of medicine ways that go back at least 50,000 years in spoken language, passed down from elder to student within a lineage, very tightly held. And this happened all over the world at that time. The Tibetans went up into the mountains, into the Himalayas, and they hid their teachings, and the Quran went into a secrecy and hid a lot of their books were closed, and only, the very highest people. So these sort of wisdom traditions hid themselves for a long time. And this was my lineage is one of them. They're the 𝐥𝐤𝐤𝐞 people. They're the most beautiful earth-based people. They live up in the mountains. They have llamas, and they use llama poo to start their fires, and they live off potatoes that they grow. And very little food grows up in those altitudes. But because they're connected up into that stratosphere, into the higher altitude, there's so much connection to the higher forces, to the support from these higher dimensional beings. And so they're in constant communication with these other dimensions, and with their guides, and their whole family of light. And so they hold these teachings, and they transmit them, what they call the 𝐸𝐚𝐽𝐾. The 𝐸𝐚𝐽𝐾 is 9 rites, and they're essentially 9 seeds, initiations. And what they are is they've essentially tracked the highest timeline, the highest version of humanity 10,000 years from now. And when they reach out into that highest timeline, and they pull back the energetics, like, who are we going to become? What are we as a being, as a people in that time? And they seed those energetically into your energy system. And when I had those 9 rites, each one, I had a vision. At each one, I had a vision about my own life, and about where I would be heading, what I'd be doing in my life. I didn't really encapsulate all that information at that time. It was just where I was at. My own consciousness at that time was just like, it was mind-blowing, but at the same time, it was just like information packages that I didn't understand at that point. And they've been informing me over time, and teaching me and guiding me, connecting me to those places, and to other teachers and guides along the way. So the question you asked is how do we take people through this process, and what are the steps along the way? But we use the medicine wheel, which has been used all over the Americas and all over the world. You know, really listening and understanding to the forces of nature that are all around us, the four directions, the south, serpent, you know, the earth. We think about the south, we think about the people of the Americas, that this is where they're closest to the land and really doing a lot of ceremony and really connected. It's called the serpent energy. It's really the lower energy centers. It's a lot about you know, living life, and it's also about the reptilian brain. So it's a lot about how do we not live from the past, i.e. fear, you know, like a trauma will happen and then we're in a fight or flight response. And so we're constantly in vigilance, trying to, you know, live life to stay safe, right? That part of the brain, it's all about sameness equals safety. Change is actually very scary. So stepping into change from was very difficult. So as we understand the serpent medicine, it's really about shedding that old past. It's rising out of that place of the past and into something new and really taking on that journey. So South is a big part of this process. It's the biggest part of the journey because it's actually the big step. And you're calling it the awakening. I think when somebody really steps into the South, it's essentially saying that what I'm doing is not working and I want to do something different. And so that's that first step. That's the awakening, right? That's the beginning of this process of the spiral. Right. And then we spiral into the West, which is the jaguar or the whale here up in Canada, or the bear. You know, the bear goes into hibernation, goes into the darkness. The West is the place of the setting sun. So it's a place of rest and renewal, and it's going into the waters. It's going into the depth of ourselves and really finding those places where we've, you know, marginalized our own voices, where we've bypassed our own truths, you know, where we're doing something because we think we should, you know, or what this society has told us, or, you know, and we start looking at those things and we actually start to see, wow, I've been living a lie most of my life. I've been living a whole bunch of programs, really. And a lot of people at that stage, it's quite an awakening experience when you realize you're like, who am I? Really, like who am I and what am I here to do? And this is great because we're heading around to the north and we're coming up out of that water. We're coming into the north is this place of the ancestors. It's the air element. It's this place of beginning to learn how to fly, place of hummingbird. Hummingbird teaches us how to always find the sweet nectar. It's like learning how to be guided by our heart. You know, the heart knows. We have these impulses that the people of the Americas say we have 360 senses. We have 360 information streams that are coming to us when we begin to listen, we tune in with our body. And so it's this directionality that we get on how to find, you know, the right people in our right, the right teachers in our life, and the right, you know, getting on the path and really be guided by that yes, that the true shivers. You know, when you get the shivers down your back and you're like, oh my God, I'm listening to truth right now. Yeah. And you feel it, and you know when you're feeling it, and that's your yes, you know, and you start listening to your yes, and your yes gets bigger and it starts to guide you more, and you start to align to more teachers and more soul tribe and more, you know, you just bring more medicine into your life, more support. And there's my puppy cedar there. And so north is beautiful when you kind of you're also, you know, you're out of the water, the emotions are you're not so guided again by these past life experiences that were traumatic, you know, and a lot of those go, you know, right back even to like early childhood developmental stuff. You know, birth trauma is one of the big ones, you know, for men, myself, circumcision, right? Like imagine being born into this world and having the first thing that you get done is being taken away from your mom, this being that's been holding you in this sacred womb in this water, and then boom, you're now out, you're away from that heartbeat, hearing that thing that's regulating your brand new nervous system, keeps you in regulation. And now you're in this field, you're being held by a doctor, often upside down and spanked in this cold, bright room, just absolutely out of your comfort zone, you know, and it's scary and it's shocking. And your nervous system and your being at that point has no reference point. You don't know how to understand what's going on. So early childhood development, that's why I really advocate natural birth, you know, paying whatever it is to get a really good midwife to be there at your birth, you know, pool birth, and doing what you can. you know, obviously a lot of people go for a natural birth and then something shifts, you know, and something's medically needs to be done, an intervention of some sort. But, you know, birth trauma, I feel, is really the big one.
Right.
And then it starts to happen with sort of like, you know, trauma of the parents being then passed down onto the children, and
Right.
you know, just not really getting their needs met. And we have this nervous system that needs this really safe love, and it also has a need to attach. So there's this attachment part of us. And if the need for safety and the need for attachment are in conflict, well, then we don't feel safe. But we're also still overriding because we need that attachment. So we're attaching to these beings that are not actually holding us, attuning to us in the ways that we need. And of course, parents are always doing their best, but it's just this sort of like trauma vortex that's being passed down. And so it's our turn now to heal that, so that our children don't have to. And that's what my elders always say. We do this work so the children don't have to. So I'll finish as we come around the north and we go into the east. East is the place of the rising sun. It is the direction of the eagle. It's the direction of liberation, of awakening, of, you know, you think of the eagle as has the perspective of looking down from 10,000 feet and see your life and see all of these, that all of it actually is perfect. But there's been this beautiful stream of perfection that's been guiding you along the way, that unless we had that wounding, we can't have the healing, we can't have that realization, and we can't have the awakening without forgetting. So in a big way, we came here to forget so that we could remember that we forgot, and really rise and take all of this beautiful medicine from all these adversities and all these challenges that we've had in our life, and to grow as a spiritual being in this multiverse that we're actually in. And then as that happens, you access higher dimensional states, this ability to see within your inner eye and ability to connect. You know, we work with a lot of beings that are in other dimensional states, and they come through and they're so excited to work with us, angelic beings and beings of that have ascended, you know, ancient Tibetan beings. Dragons, oh, they're amazing. They come through sometimes and they're just, oh my God. So yeah, I remember the dragon with you, actually.
I just want to say something. Okay, so that was so beautiful, your description of the medicine wheel in the 4 directions. And I want to say that I've been fortunate enough to be in ceremony with you through all the 4 different directions. And I remember processing almost each one in the same way, aside from the fact that I've never had a child. And obviously I didn't have that trauma when I was born, because I'm a woman. But yeah, so your description of each one of the directions and the level of awakening, there's multiple levels of awakening and awareness that come with each one of the directions. But I feel like a greater part of my own spiritual journey and my own spiritual process has come from you. Like, I remember I've learned so much from you. And I remember it was probably back in 2005. I was going through a devastating heartbreak. I broke up with my boyfriend, and I remember I was with you and I was sitting there and I was crying, and it was just this full purge, and you just let me let it all out. And then you looked at me and you smiled, much like you're smiling right now. And you just said it was so beautiful to watch me process and to watch me let go of all of those things. And you reminded me that I was processing that pain for 7 generations past and 7 generations forward. And then you told me, you said, Lonnie, it's so beautiful what's coming. You're the one that planted that little seed of everything that's happening right now. This is over 15 years ago, and I remember this. It's like you've been such a huge part of my own awakening, my own journey, and my own process of healing and expanding my consciousness, awareness, elevating my own frequency, learning about my own authenticity. I just want to say that, and that I love you so much, and you're definitely soul tribe, obviously. How many lifetimes have we been together?
How many lifetimes have we been together? You want to check in on that?
Yes, please.
Let's see here. Yeah, we've been 17 on Earth lifetimes.
Nice.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is actually not that many, but it's you know, they're probably very powerful lifetimes, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I just want you to know that you're so very dear to me. And I love everything that you're doing right now. And I appreciate it. And this whole process, the medicine wheel and the 4 directions, and the way that you describe the healing process, I think that so many people are ready for this right now. So many people are looking for this kind of guidance. They're looking for the Blyss Temple tribe. That's what they're looking for.
Yeah, they're looking for they're looking, we can't do it alone. That's what I've learned always over and over. And that was my big one that I had to learn for myself. And, you know, that we need to resource each other with people that we feel safe, that we feel held by, and we feel loved by, and we feel that they really see us, really hold us. So, you know, like what you just expressed, you know, like that just brings so much love and joy to my heart, and it makes me want to go continue on and stronger and feeling more in my power. So thank you, Lonnie. And I want to reflect back that I've only witnessed one thing about me, that one of my gifts is that I'm able to see the truth, the true light in each person. It's always there, and it always was there. And there's other things that are in the way. So what we're really doing, we're not healing anyone. We're just helping people to remove the things that are not true, and so that the true light can be fully expressed into the world. And I've always seen your power and your jaguar. You are one of the most incredibly powerful beings. Your ability to manifest and create and rise from some deep pain and some deep challenges that you've went through has been very transformational for me, and you've been one of my greatest teachers as well. And I want to say that one of the things that was always missing in my work was you, in that, you know, because I was trying to do a lot of it alone, and you know, one of the big pieces, especially in the psychedelic world, and we see a lot, is that there's a lack of real integration into third density, you know, really kind of like digging in and journaling and having proper sort of like support in integrating these experiences into their life, and being able to, you know, I say, if you get one piece in one journey that is super clear, like, I need to go and heal this piece with my father. Okay, well, let's work with that. What does that need? What does it take? What are the steps? And you do that. You teach people how to take the next step in their life along their warrior path, stepping into their true power. And that really is what it's actually bigger than, you know, I mean, they all need to work together, but that piece is really the juiciest, most important piece that is often missed in the psychedelic work. It's 90%, they say, is the integration of the experience.
Right.
So thank you for putting out your the brave.
Well, the journal that you're talking about is the Lionheart Activation.
The Lionheart Activation Journal. I've been reading it. It's amazing. And I would so love to see how we could work together and incorporate that into some of our programs as well.
Absolutely. And you know what? I think I've been needing to have this conversation with you for a while, because I just needed some more clarity on what it is I'm doing here and how I can make the biggest difference and contribution to my community. And I think that we have lots to talk about with regards to that. I really do think that journaling is such a powerful part of integration. It really is, because this is where we process not only our thoughts, but our habits. What are we continuously thinking and doing? But also, this is where we process our emotions. And integration is really all about understanding that introspection and understanding, having that self-awareness and the ability to feel those emotions as they come up instead of suppressing them. So journaling has always been a really big part of that integration process. But then again, any kind of self-expression or artistic expression is a very big part of moving that energy, as you know, with the somatic work and the dancing and the breath work and all of that is so important and integral in the process. And you bring it all to the table. So, yeah, so thank you very much again. I want to ask a couple questions about what are some of the different programs that you're offering through the Blyss Temple?
Okay. Well, so yeah, I just wanted to just preface first that we are a medical ministry. We're a private membership association, so like a church. So we work in the public or in the private domain, I mean, outside of the public domain. So, you know, when people come work with us, they essentially become a member of our organization. It's, I call it SOMA, Sacred Medicine Alliance.
Is there a membership fee?
It's included in your session. It's, you know, it's not really there to make money. It's there to just really have a safe haven for people to be able to explore ways of healing that maybe not be available by a sort of medically mandated dimension, which we see now is actually causing harm in the world. You know, and so a lot of the things that work are actually being taken off the market. And so there are many healing technologies that are available. And we have a new program that sort of integrates some of that, sort of really physical integration of medical support, cleansing of the blood, IV nutrients, ozone therapy, oxygen therapy. Yeah, so we've incorporated that because what we see is people having these incredibly profound awakening experiences, and they're able to see so much for their life and then things that they need to do. But the body actually is, because it's in the physical domain, it takes a lot longer to integrate. Physical is the sort of the slowest part, you know. That's why we need to have, say, you know, a new, if we're looking to repattern some type of habit in our life, you know, we would need to do that new thing over and over again. They say, I think they used to say 28 days, which is a lunar cycle, but actually I think they're now, the science is saying around 60 days. So 60 days to rewire a new network in your brain, 60 days to create a new pattern in your life. So yes, you're having an aha moment, but it's easy for you to go back to the same patterns that you've been living over and over again. And we know that the lessons get harder. So you want to really get the lesson, you know? And so, these medical interventions, I think, are really important because a lot of this stuff is like really locked up. But the sort of dross, this dark matter, gets, you know, processed through the body. Gets digested in the lower centers, and it goes in through our blood. And so again, why breath work is so amazing. It's also that we're getting so much more oxygen to help the body do the things that it needs to do. The diet, the way that we have the diet, is really what is setting up to support the body and eliminating these things. But with today's toxic load and with these things that people are getting injected into them, you know, whatever that may be, there is a big possibility that your body's just too overloaded to be able to offload and be able to do the work. So what we're finding is one of the technologies that I'll mention. One of the technologies is it's called 𝐦𝐤𝐤. It is a blood oxygenation, filtration, and ozonation system. So it runs the blood through a microfiltration system, 2 nanometers. Separates the red and the white blood cells. The white blood cells go through this filtration, and then they go through an ozonation oxygenation process. With ozone kills pathogens, viruses, venoms, those kind of things. And so it's incredible. Like your blood's coming out almost like a dark purple, and it's going back in like Pepto-Bismol pink. It cleans the blood, it oxygenates the blood, it revitalizes the body, it gives the body what it needs most, which is to be able to do its job, and the job that it does very well, as does our soul, when we give it what it needs, you know. And then, you know, infusing that with, say, some glutathione, some B vitamins, those kind of things. So we have a medical team that we're working with to provide incredible care and a protocol in our Bliss lab where people can get a full human upgrade along with their sort of spiritual reconnection. Yeah. So that's something we're working on right now. We're integrating into our program, and I think it's really important in today's day and age with what's going on to have that. Yeah. And it also is very, it's for me, I don't want to ever, it's a do no harm policy in everything that we do. We're always here to serve the highest good of all beings in all timelines and dimensions. So we're really making sure that whatever we do, that we're doing it from that place of like, okay, there's, out there, we're seeing that there's a possibility of, blood clotting, things like that. We're seeing more myocarditis in the world for whatever reason that's happening at an expedient rate. And so, giving people psychedelics, for instance, might be, very upregulating for the nervous system. So, everyone that we work with they see our natural path. They do blood workup, they do DNA testing to see if they have any sensitive markers for, any of these medicines that we work with. And just really, so we do a live blood analysis, we get a baseline of, and this is something that we've incorporated since working with you, but that we get a really great baseline of where they're at. And we know which medicines to work with. We also use applied kinesiology for that. So we muscle test, and we know specific dosages, specific medicines that we work with. So we work with a variety of medicines that way. Right. But really to make sure that we know that we're going to give them the care all the way through the program that they need in order to rise into their highest potential. Yeah.
This is so powerful, and it is so absolutely necessary and needed at this particular time in the history of humanity. It's so divine with all of the timing. What I want to share with the audience is your location, because this is obviously going to be this is a physical thing that you would attend, right? Or do you have an online community as well?
We are working presently on an online community. Again, it will be a private membership, so it's an invite only membership. So it's if there's somebody that wants to connect with us, I would ask that they connect through our email or through you, and that you contact us that way. It's we are growing, expanding fairly quickly. We're not looking to do any kind of major marketing campaigns or anything like that. Everyone that we talk to needs it, or their family needs it. Everyone knows somebody that really needs it right now. We really want to grow it in a very organic way. We're not here to ruffle any feathers in the world. We want to do things really slowly, organically, and really serve everyone that we connect with. But we are organizing a online platform to have a lot of resources. And that's something I'd love to talk to you more about in everything you're doing and how we can connect with that. But we can't do it alone. See, it's been divide and conquer, right? Is one of the ways that we've gotten ourselves into this state. And
it's all about building community and tribe, and with like-minded people that are going in the same direction, because we're so much stronger when we all come together. And you're absolutely right. I don't believe that any of us were meant to do it alone. And if we ever feel like we are alone or meant to do it alone, that just means that we haven't connected with that part of ourselves yet. And we have to connect with our soul tribe, because that's what we're all here for, to help each other through this process and the Great Awakening. But just to let everybody know, can I say you're in British Columbia?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we're on Squamish territory. Yeah.
Oh, Squamish territory.
South Salish Sea territory. I'm a member of the Squamish Sovereign Nation. So I've been actively supporting them in the capacity of as a medicine man as well, and also working with other Indigenous leaders in our program. That's one of the big parts of the program, as well as we have a tithing program where we are literally going into the Indigenous nations, and we're actually helping the elders right now to deal with some of the stuff that they're dealing with, because there's been a pretty strong advance on that as well. So we're in there. But so I would like to say that yes, the territory known as British Columbia, but also it's the unceded Squamish Nation.
And are you also in the interior? Do you have some facilities or workshops in the interior?
Yeah, we work, yeah, we kind of like move around wherever we're called, but yeah. Yeah, we're actually looking right now. We're looking at some locations out that way for a more of a community project that'll have a wellness center as at the core of it. So yeah, it's something that's
Very exciting times. There's so much going on in the world, and I think that this is a necessary part of our own conscious evolution and our own ascension process. So, and like you said, we can't do it alone. We need a little bit of guidance and assistance and a little bit of support. Just to be surrounded by like-minded tribe just means all the world to me. And like I said, most of my spiritual journey and a lot of the spiritual teachings that I've kind of absorbed and taken in have come from you. So I'm so grateful for you in my life, and all of the ceremony and all of the friendship that we've had over the past 20 years. Is it 20 years?
It's been 20 years, yeah, since we first started hitting the ground together as stunt people. Yeah. And that was a big part of the journey, right? It was for both of us.
Absolutely.
We really pushed our nervous systems and our bodies to the max. So I think we're both they talk about the wounded healer, right? It's this journey that we go on our own healing journey. That's where we pick up these medicines and these tools and teachings along the way. And that's why you're where you're at, because look at the books behind you. I mean, you've embodied the work that you listen to and watch, and you grow and you take it and you expand on it, and you find the right people and you tell stories about those people and inspire others to step into their power. I mean, this is what it takes. This is the new world rising out of the old ashes, right? Like the phoenix, which is another part of your team. And so this is the time. And even though we're seeing such atrocities and such pain and suffering on the planet, and it's horrific to watch and experience, it's always darkest before the dawn, and the dawn is here and it is rising in a big way, and we are finding each other. And so thank you for helping me to get this message out. And I pray that it goes to all the right people and that might need this in their life.
I have absolutely no doubt that everybody that is interested in this content and this information is going to be drawn to you like a magnet into the Blyss Temple tribe. And because that's just the way things work. With everything going on in the world right now, I have a certain perspective. I don't know. It is a perspective of a collective dark night of the soul. Like, we're all going through this kind of exposing all of the darkness and corruption and shining a light on it. And that's all happening for a very specific reason, because we can only process it and let go of that 3D matrix of control after seeing it. If we're not aware of it, we can't process it and let it go. We have to actually shine light on it and say, we don't want that anymore. And so from my perspective, it's uncomfortable, it's horrible, it's painful to watch, but it's all happening for a reason.
Yes.
And I have always believed in all the good things coming. I do believe in the golden age of humanity. I do believe in the Christ consciousness in the fifth dimension. I do believe peace on earth and compassion and love and nature and health and all of these things, abundance for everyone. Everything is going to change. And I've been talking about that for the last couple of years too. And everything is starting to fall into place. So maybe I don't look as crazy as I did a couple of years ago because it's all happening. Not necessarily on any kind of a timeline that I expected. I thought this was all going to happen 2 years ago, but over the next couple of years, I think everything is going to change. And ultimately, we are definitely on the higher timeline. And I do believe in all the good things coming. So this is a very exciting time. And sometimes I just kind of want to sit back and watch. It's very entertaining as well. And maybe grab some more popcorn and just like
Yeah.
the greatest difference I feel like I can make in the world at this time is just to focus on, healing myself, expanding my own consciousness. How am I interacting with all the people in my life? How am I contributing? How am I showing up in the world? That's the biggest difference that I think that I can make at this particular time. And I always feel like I'm being guided and protected and inspired and motivated and encouraged and empowered along the way in divine timing. So sometimes I feel like I might be in a little bit of a void and I'm not really sure which direction to go. So I'm just going to sit back and put my feet up and grab some more popcorn and watch the big show, because this is an incredible show with that perspective, if you can look at it that way.
Front row seats.
Yeah, front row seats.
Yeah, I believe that even having a body at this time is an incredible gift. It's a miracle actually to be here at this time and to have this opportunity to do this work, to witness and experience and go through this and to rise at this time is like on a soul level, it's like huge opportunity. Yeah. And the angels are often now I close my eyes and I can see them. They're there and they're cheering us on, and we're all there in the fifth. We're already there, holding hands together and holding the remembrance for this part of ourselves to have this experience. So, it's I have to always remind myself that too. And because in some of the work that I do, I help people move some of their stuff through my own nervous system. And this is something that's come really to my attention in the last couple of years. We started working in somatic therapy, specifically relational somatic therapy, where as you realize that you have more nervous systems. That's why we do the group work, because we bring 8 people together. I don't know if you ever heard of Lynn McTaggart, The Power of 8, but you bring 8 people together and you literally have 8 nervous systems holding space for one person. It's almost what it does is it creates a higher geometric portal potential for this energy to move, so people can offload traumatic energy that's been stored in their body and have a deeper healing opportunity. But in the smaller sessions, often I'll do that work, and so I'll be purging for people, and it's in that time that I have to like remind myself, oh yeah, this is also a part of the process and in my own awakening. So yeah.
Another interesting energy that's been coming up a lot lately is the divine masculine, the divine feminine. These energies are, I feel like people are really stepping into their own power as they step into their divinity, and they understand what it means to be that. And we remember what it means to have like sacred divine feminine energy matched with the divine masculine. So I see a lot more of that. A lot more people are just stepping right into their power and embracing their strengths. And I see a lot of that happening with the awakening.
Yeah, I think on your last podcast, I heard you mention something like it's the rise of the divine being rather than divine feminine. It's divine masculine and the divine feminine really embodying, and that could be shown up in many different ways. It doesn't mean that a woman necessarily is divine feminine. It can be that feminine nature and the masculine to be able to rise into that and be more nurturing and more connected to your intuition and these kind of things. And so that's been a process for me, to find that balance in between the masculine and the feminine, to rise into this divine being that we are here to become, here to rise, here that we are, but to remember.
Right. I think for most of my life, I was mostly, unknowingly, I embraced more masculine energies. Obviously, I was falling down for a living and extremely ultra independent. So those are very masculine traits. But now I'm stepping into more softer feminine traits and trying to find that balance within myself. So and it's just an awareness. It's like looking inside and trying to figure out why I do things the way I do them, and why I think the way I think, and how I process my energy and emotions. And so, yeah, it's very exciting times. So is there anything else that you would like to tell the audience about the Blyss Temple tribe?
Um, wow. Well, I mean, we're all a part of the Blyss Temple tribe. You know, Bliss is the highest frequency on the Hawkins scale of vibrational frequencies towards enlightenment. 700 and above. Bliss is around 1100, I think, if I remember correctly. So it is a state of being where you're in remembrance, you're in full connection with source energy, and remembering that you are and always were perfect and divine. And so it's about creating a space. A temple is a space. It's essentially a sacred space for us to come together. In every tradition of the world, they had the longhouse, or in New Zealand, they had the Maoris had the marae. They would go and they would do their spiritual healing work. They would come together in song. They do their warrior training. You know, we call it the dojo. So part of the Blyss Temple is getting into the dojo. So we do fire spinning, and we do sword work, and we do, like you said, breath work and qigong, and connecting to the earth, and getting our expression going and things like that. So there's the temple, there's the dojo, and there's the lab. Really, essentially, is the kind of three main components, and then some of the the products that others that are in our community are putting out there, some microdosing products and things like that that can support the in between and help upgrade the body to be able to integrate these high vibrational frequencies that are coming to the earth. We're seeing right now, that the sun is actually activated in a way that we've never seen before. The amount of solar flares and things that are happening. These are like cosmic waves that are coming through the portal of the sun and activating and sending higher up, like frequency upgrades to it. So we want to continue to upgrade our body through meditation, through these practices of qigong, and through the medicine work, and through the work that you're doing, the integration, coming together and holding one another and being in song and these kind of things to really integrate this new way of being, this remembrance, and also the upgrades of there's a way that's actually emerging. It's never been seen before in the cosmos. From what I'm told by my elders, is that this is something new, and that all of creation is watching this process that we're having here on the earth, on this beautiful blue planet that's hurtling through space, spiraling through space at 26,000 miles per second. It's a pretty magical journey we're on, and we're all here on this one planet together, supported by an infinite armada of support. And so, yeah, I guess I just wanted to really reiterate that no matter where you are on the journey, you are divine and perfect. You are held, and do your best to look for and support on your journey. Team up, and that's the hummingbird medicine, right? Hummingbird's really neat because hummingbird flies backwards. One of the only birds that can do that. I think there might be one other I heard that's possible, but if you think about that, it's gone beyond. It needs to be able to do that in order to feed the way it does, right? So it's gone beyond its own limitations, and there's a big part of it going beyond. We think that this is who we are. We're these meat suits. These are my limitations, but we are these infinite beings. And so it's this idea of breaking those molds and going beyond our own limitations and stepping in onto this journey, and then finding that nectar, finding that path towards our sweetest, the most purest version of ourselves, and finding what we need in order to do that. So, don't be afraid to ask for help and support. And if there's somebody that's touched you in a way that you feel moved by, reach out to them and see if there is a way that you can get some support on your journey, because we can't do it alone. We can't do it. It's never meant to be that way. Yeah.
I just started Hummingbird Painting.
Yes. Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, I'm not going to show it to you because I just started it a couple days ago. So. Okay.
Well, I hope you'll show it to me when it's done.
Yes, absolutely.
I didn't know you were painting. That's amazing.
Yeah. Okay. These are very exciting times. Thank you for sharing all of that information. And for everybody watching, if you would like more information, I'm going to share an email in the description below. Please like this video because it helps with my analytics and it helps me to get the message out there. Also subscribe to this channel because we have these deep kind of crazy conversations, courageous conversations all the time. And I think these are the conversations that I really enjoy having. So they're more on a deeper level, like soul kind of level. And I think that these are the conversations that are really important at this particular time in the history of humanity during the Great Awakening. So thank you very much for watching, and subscribe and like, and we'll see you again, because courage